1 massive Canada-wide obstacle course, 20 extraordinary Canadians, 16 mind-blowing challenges. It's season 2 of Canada's Ultimate Challenge every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's recap the latest episode.
Yes, once again, it is the Going Deep podcast, but it is the Canada's Ultimate Challenge edition. Donnovan Bennett, obviously. This is Terrell Richards, my favorite guest. And we're going to be breaking down over the next couple weeks one of our shared loves, and that is reality television. Season 2, there are some changes. The teams of 4.
Yeah, that was a nice little twist.
Territories, 4 across the country, where there are different competitions, 16 challenges, going through each region: Atlantic, Eastern, Mountain, Pacific. At the end of each region, the team with the fewest points heads to an elimination showdown.
And there was some drama, too, man.
There was some drama. The team with the most points chooses what other team is in that showdown. The big takeaways for me are the challenges are so difficult.
Yeah.
And the production value on the show so high. What were your biggest takeaways now that we've set the table as to what season 2 entails?
Well, the competitors are all strangers. They're not coming in like pairs of childhood friends or romantic partners. Like, nobody knows each other, and they're just thrown on these teams. And early on, Team Red and Team Yellow make an alliance, and they're just in survival mode. I'm a survivor, I just won't give up. Like, salute to the Queen. So that was like that planning, that gamesmanship is seen early on. And as you mentioned, it is an arduous, grueling physical challenge for these competitors who I think they just plucked out of CrossFit gyms across the country, because everybody's in phenomenal shape. These are beautiful-looking humans doing like the hardest challenges. So those are my big takeaways, like from a macro level on this show.
In episode 1, we're starting out the gate with something incredibly different and difficult. The raise your flag challenge. Essentially, you have to assemble flags based off your spotter's memory. And so there's some different thoughts in terms of who should be going down.
On the zip line, yeah.
Correct. Is it someone who's light, who can get there relatively fast, and we don't have to haul as much? Should it be someone with a great memory?
One thing that jumped out at me is, like, the zip line, they're pulling their teammate down the zip line. So it's not like gravity is shooting them down. It's like pulling. So, like, their hands got to be like shredded beef afterwards. Like, the heat is, like, they didn't do a close-up of their hands, but I'm sure it looked like grilled cheese or some shredded cheese. And then once you get down to the bottom and you're looking at the boat and trying to remember the pattern of these flags, like, think of countries' flags with the patterns and the shapes, then you have to sprint a kilometer up the hill, so you are just gassed. And I don't know, like, when you're running, are you thinking of it? You're trying to remember, okay, blue, green, yellow, but then it's blue, green, yellow. There are squares, there are triangles, there are horizontal lines, there are vertical lines. I don't know how they'd even remember. It's like your wife asking you, when you come back from a run, like, how many blue cars did you see today? Like, how are you supposed to remember that? And it was a problem.
Can I give you my MVP of the episode?
Yeah.
My guy, Ninko. And
Ninko was your MVP?
Correct.
What do you mean? You didn't even get to the second event.
Oh no, we will get there.
Okay.
But he got my MVP out the gate because, one, his testimonial interviews were fire. Guy had me laughing the entire time. Did not lack any confidence.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Fearless Ninko steps up, I will do this.
And he was the heaviest person, to your point about pulling up the trek line, but he says, I don't care because I am going to have the best memory. Did he? No, but that did not matter. And then he's like, you know what? I'm actually not going to go all the way back down when I get it wrong. I'm just going to go about halfway and try to use my 20/20 vision, because I ate a lot of carrots coming up and I had great eyesight. So I loved his energy. I don't know if his team loved his energy, but in terms of production value, which is how you see viewing the show. It's not, I'm not his teammate. I'm just
You're thinking as a producer.
100% as a producer. Ninko brought it for me. You mentioned it, Challenge 2. The Itty Bitty Work Party. Essentially, you're on a canoe. You have to solve a puzzle and then trade at different docks.
Yeah.
And that's when the interpersonal drama started.
Listen, Team Yellow got too cocky for me. They're like, oh, we're just going to take our time with this one. They took their time and they finished last in event number 2.
Yeah. I just think that if we take our time, we'll be fine.
I mean, if us taking our time and really understanding it ends up getting us in third, it's better than coming in last.
Yeah.
Right?
One thing they didn't show is like how hard are these puzzles? Because when they're on the boats, they have to figure out these puzzles after they scale the wall and stuff. And like, are they using bedmiss to figure out the skill testing question like the rest of us do when we go to, roll up the rim to win? We want to win a free donut or whatever.
Dude, there is zero amount of money you could pay me to go back and do like algebra, long division. Like that is pressure.
Yeah, long division for sure.
Ugh.
And just even like, coming up with equations to solve
calculus. Anyways, I forgot to mention what they were playing for. Other than Pride and some future influencer deals, they are getting a VIP trip to the Paris Olympics this summer, obviously on CBC. So a lot of motivation. Anyways, you were saying Bedmas.
Bedmas, yeah, but the pettiness. I love how Team Red and Team Blue, they've already established themselves as rivals, and how we'll see how that plays out over the course of the series. And you mentioned your episode MVP. Adam was my episode MVP.
Okay.
Adam from Newfoundland. He's got a big personality. He's full of confidence, and he was a dude that established the alliance from the get-go.
Yes.
So like. A bit of he's the one that shows me like great gamesmanship. He also won one of the 2 competitions in the first episode. So Adam is my episode 1 MVP.
Okay.
Who do you think is going to win this whole thing?
Great question. I was actually going to take it there because I said earlier that Ninko was my MVP. Shout out to Innisfil, where he reps. Team Green, which he is on, is not my pick to win. In fact, if there was some futures money on who would finish last, bet it all on Green. Put all of the green
Plus
on Green.
10,000 long shot underdog.
I'm not sure about Ninko as a captain, but I am going to be a team player. I am willing to see what he's got.
Yes.
Too many alphas on that team. I would say if I had to put it on one team right now, it would be Team Blue. Now, having said that, in the blue and red beef probably was the conflict of this episode, the height of it. In terms of the standings where we are after one episode, you got red at 8.
Yep.
You got orange at 8. You got blue at 6. You got yellow at 5. And green, as I mentioned, don't want to put any money on them, they're at 3. And again, these standings matter because if you're wrapping your head around how this season is going to go, each region, those standings after the competitions, matter in terms of the team with the best record gets to anoint the team that will face off with the team with the worst record in the showdown. And then the losing team is peace. You're not going to the other regions. You ain't going to see Ottawa. You're not going to make it all the way to BC. You're out. I immediately started thinking, okay, well, how do you game this out? Do you want one of the better teams to be in that showdown?
In the elimination challenge? Yeah.
Correct.
At the end of the episode?
Or do you just keep it a buck, keep the worst teams in there, hoping that if you come for the king, you best not miss. If you put a good team in there and they come back, well, now you have a target on your back.
Yeah.
So these are like the little plot lines as like a reality lover that I loved seeing in the formation of this show, and that's where the standings are.
In that alliance, Team Red and Team Yellow agreed not to put their teams in that final elimination challenge moving forward. So that was the one alliance. So Red and Yellow make Orange. Team Orange, that's my futures pick. Led by the women, Jack and Jenny. Dominic so far is low-key mysterious, and Team Orange wasn't featured that much in this episode, so I think over the course of the series, we will learn more about the teams and their origin stories and that sort of thing. And Jack made a great point in the second challenge. He said, we should figure out the strategy before racing forward, and I like her thinking. Team dynamics are the most important thing for for team success, obviously, as well as athletic performance. And everybody's got to play nice in the sandbox, but there's some infighting where they're like, you need to get out of this sandbox and take your ball with you. So I'll enjoy seeing how some of the teams are starting to fray at the seams and then eventually just fall apart and like Thanos just vanish into the ethos.
We've had a real great time breaking it down. Apparently this is work. We have to watch reality TV, and we got to talk about it. We're going to continue doing it. Let us know what you think of the episode and the series at large. Hit us up online, and make sure you're watching. Don't wait to binge. Watch it with us. We are going to be breaking these down throughout the season after every episode, so come hang with us. Enjoy.
Don't miss new episodes of Canada's Ultimate Challenge every Sunday at 8 Eastern. Watch free on CBC Gem.